tipping point. It's got to be half of that, Maggie.
Tonight, guilty on 34 counts. Donald Trump, now the first former US president to become a convicted criminal.
How the historic verdict in the hush money case will impact the race to lead the free world.
Also tonight, New Zealand slams Australia for changing a controversial immigration ruling.
A terrifying moment for Jetstar passengers as their plane veers off a runway.
And we're live to McDonald Jones Stadium as the Knights go for 5 in a row.
This is NBN News with Gavin and Natasha Beyersdorf.
Good evening. It's a historic verdict that has rocked America. Donald Trump, now the first former US president to become a convicted criminal.
The word guilty reverberated in a New York courthouse 34 times this morning, with the Republican candidate now facing a hefty fine or even jail.
Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
A verdict that will reshape America.
Count 1, guilty. Count 2, guilty.
Count 33, former President Donald Trump found guilty.
Donald Trump was stony-faced in the Manhattan courthouse as the verdict was read out. Guilty of all 34 counts of business fraud, hush money payments to cover up an affair with a porn star and influence the 2016 election. The first criminal conviction of a US president, a legacy that will haunt him.
We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution.
His supporters had argued he couldn't get a fair trial in Manhattan.
What goes on?
But still, they were shell-shocked.
It should have been televised. Let the American people, let the world see what's going on here.
Cheers erupted in the park across the street.
I'm thrilled. It sort of breaks the spell of his escaping consequence.
But even for those who despise him, it felt bittersweet.
I know regardless of what he does, he's still going to have supporters, so we'll have to see.
The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people.
The jury overlooked the flaws of star witness Michael Cohen.
So this is a 6-year process within which for accountability to finally be had.
Trump's former fixer, who brokered the deal for his boss with the head of the National Enquirer, David Pecker.
It's a confirmation for me of a lot of things that I suspected were going on and that I thought had crossed a line but couldn't really kind of confirm it in real time.
The husband of former adult film star Stormy Daniels said this was a big weight off her shoulders.
This wasn't her case. She didn't ask for this.
And it was a vindication for the Manhattan District Attorney, who praised his team for following the facts without fear or favour.
The only voice that matters is the voice of the jury, and the jury has spoken.
Donald Trump will be sentenced on July 11. A jail sentence is possible, but unlikely. Few convicts come with a lifetime Secret Service detail.
Until now, Donald Trump's troubles with the law have bolstered his base, but he's now in uncharted territory, campaigning as a convicted felon.
This would be a devastating blow for most presidential candidates. But his son Eric filmed as Trump appeared unfazed as both tears and jeers rained down on Trump Tower. From eldest daughter Ivanka, "I love you, Dad." His family sending public messages of support, except for wife Melania. In New York, Alison Petrowski, NBN News.
So where does Donald Trump go from here? More now from US correspondent Alison Petrowski in New York.
Donald Trump has already foreshadowed an appeal which will take months to play out and will not be wrapped up until after the November election. Within hours of becoming a convicted criminal, Trump announced he would be campaigning once again, this time here in New York at Trump Tower. In 7 hours from now, he will host an event. It's 6 months until the US election and he has no time to waste.
Donald Trump's fate is now in the judge's hands, but he's already using the headlines to supercharge his presidential bid.
Donald Trump is preparing for a fight.
This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Within minutes of the conviction, his website's front page became a fundraising platform and it crashed. He claimed to be a political prisoner, the victim of a witch hunt, and his lawyer is crying foul.
Did your client get a fair trial?
I mean, no. I don't think so.
Tonight, that client returned to his tower from a campaign fundraiser. The race to the White House now has a convicted felon. And days after Judge Juan Merchan sentences Donald John Trump, the Republican Party will formally declare him their pick for the White House. He also faces 3 other criminal trials. It's unlikely any will get underway before Election Day in November. And if Donald Trump wins, he could pardon himself from 2 federal cases. But he cannot pardon a state charge or conviction, including today's. Polls indicate this will be an incredibly tight presidential race. Just a handful of states will be key. The question remains how much today's historic event will move the needle in the minds of voters. The conviction will likely be used by both campaigns to try and sway those who'll be deciding America's commander-in-chief.
This is a justice system that hunts Republicans while protecting Democrats.
President Joe Biden not speaking publicly, instead posting online. There's only one way to keep Donald Trump out of the Oval Office, at the ballot box, a message he will likely spread across the country in the months ahead. The Biden campaign declaring the threat Donald Trump poses to our democracy has never been greater. Watching all this closely from afar, an AUKUS ally.
The relationship between Australia and the United States is a relationship between nations, not just between individuals.
Even with a conviction, the 45th president can still be commander-in-chief. If he avoids jail, he can still vote for himself. But state law means he now can't possess a gun or obtain a liquor licence. Tonight, America has a new page in its history books. And at Donald Trump's Florida home, they're flying the flag for a convicted criminal. In the United States, Jonathan Kersley, NBN News.
To other news now, and New Zealand's Prime Minister has slammed the Albanese government for changing a controversial immigration ruling that's led to violent criminals being allowed to stay in Australia. The independent body responsible for overturning visa cancellations today revealed more than 180 have been reinstated since the direction was made.
Long-standing friends across the ditch. But tonight, trans-Tasman tensions are flaring as a deportation deal is thrown out.
We regret the decision that Australia has made.
So we have a good relationship. We had a good chat yesterday. Australia makes our decisions in our national interest.
That decision to rewrite a ministerial direction which had allowed dozens of foreign criminals to stay in the country. The ruling, originally brought in to appease New Zealand's concerns about taking back Kiwi citizens who have broken the law but have spent most of their lives in Australia.
It's not fair that actually we get deportees coming back to New Zealand that have got very little connection or no connection to this country. That's not right.
The Albanese government has bungled this both in terms of the safety of Australians and our diplomatic relations with New Zealand.
The direction also leading to people from other nations with serious offences keeping their visas. The federal government blames the Administrative Appeals Tribunal for ultimately reinstating visas that were cancelled by the Commonwealth. Facing questions today, the independent body took responsibility for those decisions but maintained they were based on the direction issued by Immigration Minister Andrew Giles.
We seek to hear the evidence, listen to the submissions, make findings of fact, apply the law, apply directions and come to a conclusion. You would be concerned that that person could be gunned down on their return to their own country.
Changes promised as soon as possible, but still no confirmation what that will look like. Claudia Radoljak, NBN News.
Bruce Lerman has lodged an appeal against his crushing defamation defeat by Network 10 and host Lisa Wilkinson. In April, the federal court found that on the balance of probabilities, the former Liberal staffer raped Brittany Higgins at Parliament House in 2019. Lerman filed the paperwork at the 11th hour. The deadline to do so was today.
It was a nightmare in Nimbin last night after a car spun out of control, leaving a trail of destruction, including at the town's pub. The incident leaving witnesses shaken and the driver with a date in court.
Red and blue flashes lighting up the aftermath of a terrifying ride through Nimbin last night.
I thought I would die.
Just before 7 p.m, this BMW X5 careened out of control, smashing into 3 parked vehicles, before taking out a pole under the Nimbin's hotel veranda on Sibley Street.
Having a feed, just about to pack up and walk off and kaboom. Like, what the hell? And I'm surprised we've got a pub to go to later.
But the mayhem was far from over. The car coming to a crashing stop on Cullen Street.
And he sped up and nearly hit us and we had to jump out of the way real quick. And then he sped off and hit the rocks up there, smashed into that.
I was crying.
Yeah, it was pretty dramatic and hectic. Yeah.
The driver, a 35-year-old man, emerged seemingly unscathed from the wreck.
He looked like he was about to run, so we grabbed him and got him so he couldn't take off.
His passenger, a 43-year-old woman, was not as fortunate. The female passenger was airlifted to the Gold Coast Uni Hospital in a critical condition for a medical issue believed to be unrelated to the accident, while the male driver was taken to Lismore Base for mandatory testing. The 35-year-old man has been issued a court attendance notice for allegedly driving under the influence of drugs. He'll face Lismore Court on July 15. Andrew Dew, NBN News.
Closing statements in the trial of a teenager accused of fatally stabbing 17-year-old Lachlan Andrews in Casino in 2022 have wrapped up in Coffs Harbour's Supreme Court. Justice Hemant Danji will now determine the evidence presented over the past 10 days. A verdict date has tentatively been scheduled for June 21 in the same court.
5 years have passed since the disappearance of 18-year-old Belgian backpacker Theo Hayes. Theo was last seen leaving Cheeky Monkey's Bar in Byron Bay at around 11 p.m. on May 31, 2019. Despite an inquest concluding that Theo is likely dead, the exact cause remains undetermined. New South Wales Police are offering $500,000 reward for information into his disappearance.
It's a rising concern for local parents. E-cigarettes pose health and addiction risks to our young people. Now the North Coast Youth Vaping Task Force has listened to the community, setting out a new plan to tackle the devices in schools and beyond.
It's a live document reflecting an ever-changing issue. 12 months in the making, the North Coast now has a community-informed approach to prevent and reduce vape use in our region.
Some young people can't go all night without having to wake up and have a chup on their vape, or they're waking up and the first thing they reach for, even before their phone, is their vape to have a puff.
The evidence that is showing that potentially 1 in 3 people who vape will go on to tobacco smoking, and this is why there is such a concern with the nicotine dependence that we're seeing with young people.
A key initiative of the action plan launched today has been the development of evidence-based training and resources. Aimed at improving awareness, it will also list referral services and provide support to those seeking to quit.
We're working with teachers quite a bit even, giving them better tools around conversations to have with vapes, and parents as well especially. It's always just have an honest, curious conversation, you know, rather than that judgmental, you've got to quit.
The 4 settings within the plan are schools, community, health and regulation and environment.
We're going to come up with a bit of a video, like song, interviews, those kind of things, and a bit of a competition to come up with some logos and slogans and things, and basically make a whole bunch of t-shirts that'll be, you know, about healthy lifestyle choices around vaping and that kind of stuff.
New actions or changes will be reviewed and added over time and include the local implementation of state-led initiatives. It can be accessed on the local health district website. Britt Ramsey, NBN News.
Thousands are expected to gather in Lennox Head tomorrow for the 11th Love Lennox Festival. Ballina Road will be blocked off as unique street stalls and entertainers are on show.
Love Lennox Festival is all about everything there is to love about Lennox. It's a celebration of the vibrancy and culture of that small village, and there's music.
The free event kicks off at 9 a.m.
One of Newcastle's best-known music venues has rebranded, with Lizottes at Lambton now called Flamingos Live. New owners took over in November and revealed the name change at a glitzy event last night.
The heart of the business will stay the same, and it's just the name, really.
Yeah.
And that's just to put our stamp on it. Yep. No point in owning a business if you can't put your own stamp on it.
Incredibly warm across the region today, reaching 24 to 26 degrees.
Next, finally home, an Australian couple touches down after being injured during extreme turbulence.
Bring back vouchers for families. The powerful new lobby group out to revive the hospitality industry.
And offenders restoring historic graves in a northern Tablelands ghost town.
At Spotlight, save a massive 20 to 50% off store-wide, including Manchester home decor, fabric, sewing, craft, party, curtains and blinds. Yes, that's 20 to 50% off store-wide, so you can create it, decorate it and celebrate it for less. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
The Sunrise Catch-Up, featuring Macca's Brekkie deals. Get a small hot McCafe coffee and your choice of a selected McMuffin for just $5.95. Get more for your money at Macca's.
With your generosity, the Salvos can help women find a way out of violence and a way back in to a safe and stable life. You can give a new beginning. Please donate to the Red Shield Appeal today.
Meet my boyfriend, Jake.
What's up, everyone?
What is all over your feet?
They're flowers. I study botany.
Resting dad face back there likes plants too.
Grab some pruners. Let's prune.
Dynamo Professional.
Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy. 'Cause I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors.
Oh, wow. Important meeting at the office.
No, I'm working from home.
Dynamo. You always give your best.
I can make everything nice. With Tilda steamed rice, a halloumi wrap, a bibimbap, or leftover Thai in a stir-fry. Red curry, green curry, all the curries. Rice and beans, rice and pineapple. I can beef up a burrito or flavour some fish. Make dinner for one or a banquet for everyone. Go posh or with squash. I can toss it, boss it, pile it up or style it up. Tilda, elevate your plate.
The Ladbrokes Racing Club is giving you the ownership experience. Follow a stable of over 30 runners with updates from leading jockeys and trainers. Ready to feel like an owner? Join the Ladbrokes Racing Club today. It's fast and easy. You win some, you lose more.
Australian minerals companies paid over $74 billion in taxes and royalties in 1 year alone, helping fund infrastructure and services. That's why every Australian has a stake in Australian minerals. Authorised by T Constable, Minerals Council of Australia, Canberra.
Looking for a place to play sports, socialise and be part of the local community? Become a member of Ocean Shores Country Club. Golfing, bowling, great food and dining at Pacific Breeze Restaurant, plus live music and entertainment. Join today and enjoy the benefits.
Why Can-Am? Because we're built Australia tough for any conditions. Get end of financial year deals on selected Can-Am models. Search Can-Am today.
Rescue teams are still searching for survivors in Papua New Guinea 1 week on from a massive landslide. At least 670 people have now been confirmed dead, but there are fears for more than 2,000. Treacherous terrain and a lack of heavy machinery are slowing down rescue efforts.
There was a scare for passengers on board a Jetstar flight in New Zealand this morning. Their plane veered off the runway after touching down at Christchurch Airport. A steering issue now being blamed.
A camera rolling as a Jetstar flight touches down in Christchurch. It all appears routine until the aircraft suddenly veers and then skids off the runway and onto grass.
Did we just crash?
Thankfully, no. But for those on board, it was a scary ride.
All of a sudden, we kind of hit the ground and then they stopped. And then I think we skidded on some grass and ended up diagonally on the tarmac.
You can hear what appears to be the grinding of the brakes as the flight crew attempts to cut short the landing.
It did seem like he was pushing the pedal rather harshly.
The pilot was quick to jump on the PA.
For safety reasons, we've had to bring the aircraft to a stop.
And the airline just as swift to explain the cause of the drama.
On landing, the crew experienced a steering issue associated with one of 3 hydraulic systems failing on the aircraft.
The plane is now grounded after the bumpiest of landings.
I'm from Christchurch and trauma from all the earthquakes, and I haven't been back much since, so kind of was like a welcome home, here's some more trauma for you.
Nerves rattled, but no harm done.
Damien Ryan, NBN News.
An Australian couple badly injured when a Singapore Airlines flight hit extreme turbulence has touched down in Adelaide after a medical flight from Bangkok. Keith Davis suffered lacerations and his wife Kerry a spinal injury, paralysing her from the waist down.
Personally, I feel guilty that I'm able to stand here and walk around and talk to you guys. That's my feeling. I'm coming to terms with that.
25 passengers remain in hospital in Bangkok.
Cuts to payroll tax and dining vouchers for struggling families. A powerful new alliance of restaurant barons says those are the ingredients to revive the lagging hospitality industry as the cost of living bites.
During the Friday lunch rush at Sydney's best restaurants, from Chin Chin in the city to Margaret in Double Bay, well-known head chefs and managers stepped out to form an influential new lobby group as their $64 billion a year industry is hit hard by families cutting back.
2024 has certainly been one of the hardest years for hospitality. Many businesses have said that they're closing because times are harder than they've ever been.
Rockpool's Neil Perry will chair the new Australian Restaurant and Cafe Association, and on the menu calls for the state government to axe payroll tax.
I still can't get my head around the fact you get taxed for employing people. It's crazy.
And reinstate vouchers to stimulate spending.
We certainly will call for the return of the Dine and Discover.
The Treasurer is right now preparing his second budget, but after inflation ticked up this week, it's unlikely he'll have any appetite to take measures that could fuel that fire.
Though the opposition is agitating for cost of living relief.
Dine and Discover was a great program which was able to drive people back into restaurants and hospitality businesses. And of course this government's got to look at what they can do for cost of living relief.
But this vocal group of business owners isn't stopping on Macquarie Street. A staffing crisis has them also lobbying Canberra to make immigration changes and industrial relations reforms. Liz Daniels, NBN News.
A $207 million hydrogen hub at Newcastle's Kooragang Island is a step closer, with the state government granting planning approval. The project, led by Origin Future Fuels, is expected to begin construction in mid-2025.
The Labor government is absolutely committed to making sure that the Hunter is at the forefront when it comes to green energy. I can see us exporting green hydrogen around the world.
The green hydrogen will be used by industry, with the majority going to Orica's nearby ammonium nitrate facility to help decarbonise its operations. That will save the equivalent of more than 52,000 tonnes of greenhouse gas emissions a year.
Well, as expected, the cloud moved in today, and it is an impressive cloud band that has arrived locally. Next is the rain moving in across the west. We've got tomorrow the rain band will make its way across the entire region, contracting north, so clearing momentarily for the Hunter before the low forms. Overnight into Sunday morning, the strong winds and heavy rain will impact the central coast, with squally showers and rain periods, heavy at times reaching the Newcastle region. Scattered showers will develop further north. The low will clear on Monday.
Still ahead in NBN News, a man learns his fate for a stabbing outside a Newcastle train station.
The massive convoy through Perth with a message for the Prime Minister.
And a rare update on Princess Kate's health ahead of a key event.
It's Tank World's EOFY stock take clearance. Massive savings on our best-selling tanks, like our 47 750 litre from just $58.65. Hurry, there's no better time to buy. Sale ends June 17th. Think Tank World. 1-800 68 69 70.
And then they said,
no thanks.
That's right. Because no one should touch you in a way that you're not okay with, even our family or friends. If you're not sure, you can always talk to me.
Every conversation brings us closer to a world without child sexual abuse. Let's end child sexual abuse, one talk at a time. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Morning, Dave.
Hey, Josie. You good?
Can't complain. No one listens.
Oh, I listen. Hey, Maddie. What happened?
Dave, early start.
You know Maddie, yeah?
Yeah. Shippy down.
Didn't know there'd be a traffic jam in here.
When you buy a Ford Ranger, Australia's #1 selling vehicle in 2023, you become part of something bigger. Get into a Ranger XL, XLS, XLT or Sport today. Now in stock at your Ford dealer.
Macca's new Feisty McSpicy range. Things just got feisty.
For young girls, a bed should be a place to sleep, not a place of work.
Morning, Carmen. Carmen, how's our gorgeous granola coming along?
Carmen here added extra joy.
I love it so much.
Maybe dial it back a little.
There's care, and then there's the Carmen's kind of care.
Dectomax V is a brand new cattle drench containing 2 actives, average efficacy of 99.8%. Ideal for weaners and growing cattle, twice as tough on worms. New Dectomax V, premium performance for leading cattle producers.
We're standing up for our right to be lazy.
Not literally, of course.
We work hard. We deserve to scroll hard.
It's the Lazy Boy Big End of Financial Year sale. Save 20 to 50% off all Lazy Boy furniture. So put your feet up and take a break. But don't miss out. The Big End of Financial Year sale is on now in stores. Lazy Boy. Long live the lazy.
Welcome to Invercold House. Equipped with the latest technology, host your conference, seminar or workshop in our versatile spaces. Then unwind or even network in our serene outdoor areas. Invercold House, where productivity meets tranquility.
You're watching NBN News. These are our top local stories. There were dramatic scenes in Nimbin last night when a car spun out of control and left a trail of destruction, including at the town's pub. The North Coast Youth Vaping Task Force has listened to the community, setting out a new plan to tackle e-cigarettes in schools and beyond. Central Coast Rehab Centre, the Glen for Women, is set to welcome its first participant into transitional housing. Walker farmer Nick Blomfield is pioneering a new grazing method to store carbon emissions from cattle in soil, becoming just the second producer in New South Wales to be awarded carbon credits for the initiative. And Lake Macquarie's new $235 million outdoor concert venue is taking shape. The stage now has a striking-looking roof.
A 26-year-old man who stabbed a person outside a Newcastle train station could be released from prison in October. Zach Rolls Fitzgerald was today jailed for a minimum of 18 months over the attack in April last year. He met the 28-year-old victim outside Broadmeadow Station to collect money after earlier supplying him with Xanax and stabbed him once in the abdomen. A judge found Rolls Fitzgerald was remorseful and noted his mental health issues.
Around 3,000 farmers from across Western Australia have made a powerful statement descending on Perth. They're protesting against the federal government's ban on live sheep exports, worried it'll decimate rural communities.
They turned out in droves to send a message. More than 1,500 utes, trucks and tractors descending on Perth, demanding the Albanese government's ban on live sheep exports be overturned.
This is just evidence that the bush has had enough. We're sick of being pushed around the place. We're sick of being dictated to by a federal government that's not listening.
We care for our sheep so much and we treat them with full respect for their whole lives, and we're just out there to feed the world and make sure everyone gets food on their plate.
Regional people fear the ban will decimate country towns and destroy their livelihoods.
Shearers, truckies, stockies, you name it, it's going to affect communities.
Less people in our communities mean less children in our schools, less businesses in our towns, less people playing sport, and slowly regional communities will just die.
Support from across the agricultural sector, including from people not directly involved in the industry, but the government says otherwise.
We know from surveys that this policy has the overwhelming support of West Australians, so now what we're doing is getting on and delivering an election commitment.
It's clear today just how many people and families this ban will affect. Farmers say they won't give up the fight until it's overturned.
We're hoping this rally gets all the way to Canberra so they know how we feel about this and how much we need it.
An old cemetery in the Northern Tablelands is being restored by a group of offenders guided by community experts. More than 700 graves at Hillgrove have become overgrown since the gold mining town was abandoned back in the 1920s. Community service offenders from Armidale have been tasked with weeding and cleaning up the area.
Kensington Palace has given a rare update on the Princess of Wales, announcing she won't be attending a key military event next month. The King, however, will be at the annual Trooping the Colour, but his role has been scaled back as he recovers from cancer.
Pinpoint precision at a practice for the King's birthday parade. This year, the Irish Guards will troop their colour at the annual event. The Princess of Wales is their Colonel-in-Chief and would usually take the salute at a dress rehearsal on June 8. But in a rare public update on her movements, Kensington Palace has announced Kate won't be attending as she continues chemotherapy.
We wish the Colonel of the Irish Guards the best of best wishes for her recovery, and again the Irish Guards are hugely proud to have her as their Colonel and want to put on a really special show this year. Trooping the Colour is a spectacular display of the British military, full of pomp and ceremony when traditionally the royal family watched the fly past from the Buckingham Palace balcony waving to crowds. Whether Kate will be at the June 15 event is not clear. The palace has announced the King will take part in the Trooping the Colour event, but the capacity in which he does so will be altered slightly at the advice of the monarch's medical team. King Charles won't inspect the guards on horseback as he did last year. Instead, he'll do so from a carriage alongside Queen Camilla. The adjustment, a reminder that the King remains on the road to recovery from his own cancer battle. In London, Jessica Millward, NBN News.
Australia's internal migration rate is at its second highest level in 6 years, with new data showing the Gold Coast and Lake Macquarie are in the top 5 choices for big city dwellers looking to relocate. And according to the Regional Movers Index, it's millennials who are leading the charge out of Sydney. Some people are also moving from smaller regional areas to larger ones, with Cessnock and Maitland in the top 5 destinations.
Australian shares snapped a losing streak to end the week as a burrito chain confirmed it's ready to make its stock exchange debut. Stephanie Anderson has the details.
Well, Guzmán Gómez, or GYG as it's known, has wrapped up its plans to float with June 20 crunch time for its ASX listing. The chain will enter with a valuation of $2.2 billion. It comes as the market snapped a 3-day run in the red, closing up 1%. Happy hour at Treasury Wine Estates after it ended 2.8% higher. Beaker Cheese also had a win and Woolworths rose 2%. A positive Friday for the Big Four banks too. CBA ended up 1.3%, ANZ 1.15%. And the Aussie dollar had a fairly solid day. It's buying around 66 US cents and 52 British pence.
Australian researchers are exploring a breakthrough treatment for anorexia. Using electromagnetic therapy, the team from Melbourne is targeting the part of the brain responsible for causing symptoms of the eating disorder.
With waves of energy, these researchers are embarking on a world-first trial that could finally bring a cure for anorexia.
If you fire lots and lots of pulses, it changes the activity levels of the brain tissue.
While electrotherapy has been used to treat depression for decades, this is about targeting the brain network that appears to cause anorexic behaviours.
We identify
each individual's specific target.
Discovering this specific anorexia brain network was a major breakthrough for researchers. The team from Monash University and Alfred Health identified it in a sample of patients who had all unexpectedly developed anorexia symptoms after a brain injury.
These were healthy people who did not have anorexia behaviours.
When I was struggling with anorexia, I genuinely thought that my brain was hijacked.
Lexi Crouch battled anorexia for 15 years. Now an eating disorder coach, she says the trial brings hope.
It is not something that you are deemed crazy for. It's not something that should be hidden away. There is actually biological reasons.
20 participants will take part in the 10-minute sessions over several months. Then interim results are expected early next year.
We really do need to add more innovative and evidence-based treatment options.
To have made a full recovery from anorexia is something that I wish for everybody in the future.
Now to a farewell fit for a favourite employee. Kmart doorman Glenn was clapped out of the Stockland Green Hills store today after his final shift following 17 years of loyal service. Popular with his colleagues and customers, shoppers helped organise the rousing retirement send-off in appreciation of his friendly nature and impeccable service. Enjoy retirement.
He's popular. Well done, Glenn.
Absolutely. Let's move to sport now.
Jack Howard's with us. The Knights are in for another soggy home game tonight, Jack.
They are, but they are becoming a wet weather specialist. After the break, we're live to McDonald Jones Stadium for the late mail ahead of tonight's clash with the Bulldogs. Also ahead, Cam McInnes prepares for a new role in Origin 1, and the Matildas ready for their second last hit out before the Olympics.
The Amart Stock Take sale has been extended. Don't miss savings of up to 60% across a huge range of bedroom furniture. Plus, get a better night's sleep with up to 60% off big brand mattresses. Hurry, this offer must end Sunday at Amart.
Over 16,500 New South Wales police are out there. And every police vehicle can enforce the road rules anywhere, anytime. Holding your phone while driving? You can stop it or cop it.
Here in British Columbia, we have endless inspiration. These peaks just go on forever. It's a sea of snow and mountaintops, like blank canvases, if you will, for people to go make their marks on.
Start your next adventure now with Subaru, with 12 months free rego and CTP, plus 5 years roadside assistance and a $1,000 fuel voucher on selected models. Hurry, the Subaru sale event ends June 30. T's and C's apply. Subaru, for a world discovered.
For over 10 years, Dulux has protected Australian surf lifesaving clubs, buildings that have survived every Nippers graduation, every scorching day and every stormy night, because nothing survives like Weather Shield. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
Time is running out. The government is putting your free sport on the line. The countdown is on to save free sport on TV. Keep sport free. Go to freeforeveryone.com.au.
This is Simon. When asked what he did over the weekend, he'll say, nothing special. Is hanging out with your favourite people nothing special? Are these pub-style chips nothing special? Simon McCain, there's something special about nothing special.
Best sheds up to 40% cheaper. Double garages $4,990. Triple garages $8,600. 4-car garage $7,250. Our 30% off sale is on right now at Best Sheds. American barns from $8,900. Farm sheds $11,990. Industrial buildings only $18,600. Call Best Sheds on 1800 15 17 18 or check out our range at bestsheds.com.au.
Switch to Energy Australia's Flexi Plan and get 18% less than the reference price on your electricity. Plus, new and moving customers will also receive a $200 bill credit. Switch to Energy Australia today.
Elders Real Estate Alstonville proudly presents these upcoming auctions and open houses.
Secure an investment with attractive returns with 2 freestanding dwellings in a convenient location. A 3-bedroom home with renovated kitchen and bathroom and 2-bedroom granny flat tucked away with a carport and established gardens. And this wonderfully positioned townhouse is a delight, featuring stylish flooring and plantation shutters, a bright modern kitchen, air conditioning and 3 upstairs bedrooms with built-in robes.
For more information on these and other properties, visit eldersalstonville.com.au.
Newcastle returns from a bye at McDonald Jones Stadium tonight, searching for its 5th consecutive win. Montana Claire is there for us. Montana, the rain isn't deterring fans or the players.
Jack, the Knights are fast becoming a wet weather specialist team. They've won their past 3 rain-soaked games, but tonight's clash with Canterbury is unlikely to be a whitewash. I'm joined now by assistant Knights coach Blake Green. Blake, thank you for jumping out of the warm-up for us. How's everyone looking? Any late changes tonight?
No late changes. Had a really good week actually. It's been a big benefit since we had the bye. We had a few players that were carrying a few bumps, so everyone's been able to fully train this week and head into tonight unchanged.
The Bulldogs have quite a few out to Origin. I suppose, does that bode well for the Knights tonight?
Oh, it gives us a little bit of an advantage, I guess, but they've had the opportunity to prepare for the last sort of 10 days, the Bulldogs heading into this game. So, we need to just focus on what we've been doing really well with, on the back of having four wins, and I'm happy for the conditions to keep coming down a little bit of rain, because we've had some luck in the rain. So it suits our game style, and it gives our players an opportunity to use some of their best attributes in the wet.
And Tyson Frizzell is on the bench again tonight. I suppose, how do you envision him making an impact when he gets on?
I thought he did a great job for us last week. He came off the bench against the Titans and played through the middle and just gave us a heap of leg speed through there, and he tidies a few things up defensively. So we'll look for more of the same from Tyson tonight.
Awesome. Well, all the best tonight, Blake. Thank you so much for joining us. And Jack, all the action from tonight's Knights-Dogs clash will be right after a current affair.
Thanks, Montana. Mitchell Moses admits he felt helpless when Brad Arthur was sacked by Parramatta while he was sidelined with a broken foot. Last night, Moses starred on his return after 10 weeks out, guiding the Eels to a desperately needed win over Cronulla.
Mitchell Moses back, doing what he does best.
Absolute class there from Mitchell Moses.
The halfback, man of the match on his return, pulling the strings for Parramatta in a 34-22 win over the Sharks. But it's what he couldn't control that's been bothering him. Coach Brad Arthur axed as the Eels lost 7 of 8 games while Moses was injured.
Helpless the whole time, you know what I mean? And to have our coach get sacked and, I have no control over it was really hard. I was really close with him, and sad to see him leave.
The broken foot also robbed Moses of a start in Origin 1, but he's still hopeful of playing later in the series.
I tried my backside off to come back and get it back early, and just didn't pull up right. But I know myself, I gave it every chance to come back and try to be there, but I fell short. So I just got to play good footy here and see what happens.
Parramatta looks like a new team with their number 7 back.
Yeah, it just felt comfortable. It makes things much easier. I can just not relax on the left edge, but enjoy myself a bit more.
Blue and gold fans and players sharing the spoils of victory.
But I got a bracelet, which I'm pretty stoked about. Says Dylan. Very cute.
The loss, the second straight for Cronulla, who have fallen off the top of the table.
Flat performance, got jumped on energy.
The Sharks did score the best try of the night, a contender for 4-pointer of the season. Will Kennedy starting and finishing the length of the field epic.
Spectacular from the Sharkies.
Luke Duffy, NBN News.
The Blues may be forced to turn to a makeshift half if injury strikes during Origin 1. Ken McInnes is preparing to fill the unfamiliar role ahead of the series opener on Wednesday night.
He might be the most stylish of golfers, but Brian To'o needs some driving lessons. The Blues enjoying their day off, taking time to hit the Lura links, the team leaders playing in the same group. Later it was time for some sightseeing. To'o, the team prankster, off to check out the local area. It was significant Luke Keary was still in camp. He's on standby for Nico Hines until at least tomorrow. But another player may be in line to cover for Nico. First-timer Cam McInnes is shaping as the Blues game day backup. When did you last play in the halves?
I don't know. Against Melbourne a few weeks ago, that my role was sort of to attack there but defend in the middle. So, yeah, comfortable doing that. So you've got to be agile, don't you? Stay agile.
The 30-year-old is ready to take his chance. You've been around the block to get here.
Yeah, I had to have a quick look to see where I sat on the oldest debutants.
Where'd you go?
I think maybe 5th or 6th.
No one has played it tougher. all the bumps, bruises, knocks, cuts, worth it?
Yeah, mate. Of course, it's worth it to make it here, but playing the game's worth it to me. Like I love playing, so it's what I've done since I was a kid and dreamed about being here.
And there's a soft side to the new Blues tough guy. He says he owes this moment to his partner Rachel.
Yeah, been with her since before it all started, and she's ridden the highs and lows, and she was so happy. And to see that joy, because what we do, it's hard for the partners. Like I'm away and even playing footy, living life a certain way, and she has to cop all that. So to actually see the joy for her, that makes it really worthwhile for me.
In the Blue Mountains, Danny Weidler, NBN News.
In less than 2 hours, the Matildas will hit Adelaide Oval for their second last warm-up match before the Olympics. The Tillies looked relaxed on their team walk this morning before tonight's friendly against China. Australia's final game before heading to Paris is in Sydney on Monday. 2 Australians will begin their fight for an NBA championship next week. It comes after Dante Exum and Josh Green helped the Mavericks to a dominant 124-103 win over the Timberwolves and the Western Conference title. Dallas will now take on the Celtics in the best-of-7 series, which starts on Friday. Next, new ground for an Aussie star. Alex de Minaur makes the third rounder, Roland Garros, for the first time. And a truly epic finish to the Tahiti Pro.
Next stop, chicken and gravy pie.
Get it now from Red Rooster.
The rooster's calling.
From Sunday crunch time to Monday lunchtime. Go big on flavour this winter with our award-winning Coles Boneless Pork Belly Roast. Down to just $16 a kilo. That's great value, hands down at Coles.
You wouldn't know it, but this morning Jasmine was running a fever. A dose of children's Panadol, a good nap and a few hugs from Dad. Now she's ready for everything? Help them back to their epic best with children's Panadol.
Doc, I'm worried my teeth are getting weaker.
Don't worry. Like bones, your teeth lose density over time, but with Oral-B's new enamel densified toothpaste, it rebuilds enamel density to extend the life of teeth. Trust Oral-B for strong teeth for life.
Life. That's what we're here to defend. Standing by everyone living with cancer, protecting life's moments for life. If you need to talk, call 13 11 20.
Do you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Metamucil's daily 4-in-1 fibre helps trap and remove waste. This daily cleanser supports gut health, regularity and traps cholesterol and sugars. Try Metamucil.
Play the new Look Weekday Windfall Lottery for a chance to win $1 million every Monday, Wednesday and now on Friday. With a weekday windfall prize, you could enjoy more moments that matter.
At Optus, helping keep you safe from scams is our priority. Optus Call Stop prevents you from calling back numbers from identified scammers through automated call block technology.
Protect your weaners from BRD with one spray of Rhinogard for IBR and one shot of Bovishield MH1 delivered one time on farm. Talk to your cattle vet or local reseller before weaning.
There's only one BRD program for me.
There are 2 ways to make a mattress. The cheap way?
One piece, single-sided, with attached pillow top made out of foam.
Yes, Mr. Harvey, they should be 50% off. The best way.
2-piece, double-sided, removable pillow top with thousands of microcoils and a 5-year comfort promise.
Sorry, Mr. Harvey, we make them, you don't.
The Bellissimo mattress, made like no other mattress. Making mattresses, nobody makes a better mattress. Nobody.
Harvey Norman clearance on now. Save 50 on Euromade 5-function oven, now under 500. This dreamy robotic vacuum and mop, now under 1,300. Save over 300 on this LG 65-inch OLED, now under $3,000. At Harvey Norman now.
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Clearance on now for a limited time only.
Alex de Minaur is through to the third round of the French Open for the first time in 8 attempts. The world number 11 advanced in just over 2 hours, while Thanasi Kokkinakis survived another 5-setter. Down 2 sets, the Aussie stormed home to win through to the third round, where American Taylor Fritz awaits. It'll go down as one of the great days of competitive surfing. Chopu again roaring to life for the final day of the Tahiti Pro. There were perfect 10-point rides and heavy wipeouts before Brazilian Italo Ferreira walked away with the trophy. Newcastle's Ryan Callanan was the best of the Aussies, reaching the quarterfinals. Coffs Harbour will host an AFLW match between the Sydney Swans and Richmond on September 14 for the first time ever. The fixture, released today, includes several innovations, including the showcase event at the city's International Stadium. 9 players will be missing in action for round 7 of Group 2 women's competition after facing the judiciary this week. In the men's, the top-ranked Nambucca Roosters will take on a struggling Coffs Comets side.
The Comets have it all to do tomorrow against Nambucca in one of the first Group 2 games under lights.
They love that kicking game, and when they get that roll on, they can produce tries from anywhere. And Coffs kind of go all right in the first half, and then their structure falls apart. So, if they do that against Nambucca, they could get 40 or 50 put on them real easy.
Kicking off at 5:15 p.m, the Roosters know if they stick to their structure and defend hard, the points will come.
We can't underestimate any side in this comp.
On Sunday, Sawtell is looking to recover from its first loss of the season up against Maxville by fixing mistakes and strengthening defence.
They're really unpredictable. They like to play off the cuff, and they've got a quality side. They've got some good forwards and a bit of strike out wide, so they're built really well, Maxville, and it's going to be a tough test. We've just got to fix up our tries off kicks and complete at a high completion rate, and we'll come over the top.
While Woolgoolga host the Ghosts.
It'll be a tough match. It'll be a grind match up there. We know what the Ghosts are like. They'll grind away all day, and Whoopi's got a bit of flair there when they can get it going, and they improved a bit last week to what they've been playing.
And teams are still on notice about brawling after last week, especially in the women's comp, with 9 players and 2 spectators suspended.
A lot of them have come back and pleaded guilty to the conduct that they showed, and they range from 4 weeks down to 1 week. So, and the spectator ones, they could end up with 6 months or 12 months without being at a football game at all.
Britt Ramsey, NBN News.
The NRRL hits round 9 this weekend, starting off with the Saturday clash against Ballina and the Northern United Dirrawongs. The Seagulls are fresh off a win, but say discipline will be key to backing up their success.
It was a battle of the birds, the Seagulls claiming a 36-30 win against Lower Clarence Magpies. And second row Anthony Coleman says it wasn't easy.
I just think defensively we weren't great. A lot of missed tackles. In attack, we dropped a lot of ball as well and gave away a lot of silly penalties. So, just made it really hard on ourselves.
Sitting third on the ladder, Ballina is now gearing up for a showdown against Northern United Dirrawongs, a team which will be out for revenge after last week's 4-point loss to ladder leaders Bulambul. The Seagulls aren't taking any chances.
They've obviously got a lot of good players. They've got James Roberts, Tyrone Roberts. But they've also got Jaira Breckenridge in the front row. He's been a good player for a really long time.
Fitness, a strength for the Ballina side, and the team has a clear focus heading into the match.
I think our game plan is just to improve in our discipline. Try and hang on to the ball, not give away any penalties, not make their job any easier. I know they're going to be up for it, and really tough.
Kick-off is at 2:45 tomorrow at Kingsford Smith Park. Andrew Dew, NBN News.
In pickleball now, the Barrington Coast Regional Doubles Tournament in Taree, set to take place this weekend, has been postponed due to the rainy weather forecast. Hundreds of players were expected to turn out for the event at Wrigley Park. Hopefully not too many other cancellations.
Ooh, there might be. Do you reckon, Gav?
Well, it's going to reach us throughout the afternoon. It's a big rain band on its way. Thank you so much, Jack. All of your local weather details are headed your way straight after the break. Stay with us.
Helping the Sadar kids. Heartless thieves took everything. Now your overwhelming response.
Thanks for helping us.
A current affair next.
The fantastic sale is now on. Enjoy the Finlay 3-seater sofa. Was $999, now $799. And save $100 off the Seville Queen bed. Was $499, now $399. Shop the fantastic sale today. Find your fantastic.
Wait,
did they get these?
Well, at Coles, we go to great lengths for quality.
Like travelling across Europe.
To find juicy heirloom tomatoes.
To grow in Australia.
Or working with Aussie pork farmers for generations. Right, guys?
Yep.
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 Because when you go to great lengths, you get great quality food that tastes...
delicious.
Great lengths for quality. Coles.
Head to Chemist Warehouse and save on big brands like Bondi Protein Co. Slim It Blend $37.99, Microgenics Mega B Complex $23.99, and Ferrograd C $19.99. Chemist Warehouse, tackle great savings this NRL season.
To celebrate the Garfield movie in cinemas, HelloFresh recipes have had a movie makeover, like this warming Italian white bean and veggie soup. Plus, you could win this limited edition baby Garfield drink cup. Don't miss your chance to unbox a winner with HelloFresh.
Could be crispier.
Crispier.
Double breaded.
Double breaded.
Double breaded.
Double XL, I need my chicken all crispy, crispy. Double up, I get the crispy.
Sharp dude. Sulla pizza.
Legos, Australian made with quality ingredients for more than 100 years. It's how we do Italian.
Switch to Energy Australia's Flexi plan and get 18% less than the reference price on your electricity. Plus, new and moving customers will also receive a $200 bill credit. Switch to Energy Australia today.
Queensland's largest industry primary field days is nearly here. Buy your tickets online now at farmfest.com.au and save 30%. Join us for 3 big days, June 4, 5 and 6. Don't miss out, get your tickets today.
Farm on and take off with unbeatable end of financial year deals from New Holland. Get 0.49% finance plus up to $3,000 cashback on a range of New Holland tractors. Hurry, offer ends June 30.
Checking in with the forecast. Well, we've had a warm one today, indeed the last of it, I'm afraid. The cloud is increasing and we've got wet weather on the way, returning to the northern rivers. Let's take a look at this evening's weather photo. The high-level cloud moved in over the Newcastle region, but there was a gap on the horizon, so when the sun came out, it illuminated it beautifully over the city. The past 24 hours, this rain band, already impressive, extended from Western Australia's top end all the way to Tasmania, and there's solid falls in there of 10-30 millimetres widespread, drawing down from the north, tracking across New South Wales. We had some of that high-level cloud begin to move in today, stealing our sunshine, but we had enough light there and the northerly winds making for those very warm mid-20 degree temperatures. But now the cloud, the rain is on its way. And then we're going to see a low form that is heavily going to impact the Sydney Basin, Illawarra, Central Coast and then Newcastle on Sunday. But for us, it's all going to be fine. Then eventually that rain band will be moving in as we progress into the afternoon, and tomorrow night we're getting wet. And those blocking highs now beginning to weaken. We've got that system, of course, passing over us, clearing from Central Australia, but a new front is on its way to the west. So Perth now getting bombarded with frontal activity and more showers on the way there. All fine right across central northern Australia. Today, 25s, but we had 26 degrees recorded at Evans Head. It certainly got up there. The Gold Coast as well managed 26 degrees. The cloud increased, some light drizzle moving through, prefrontal drizzle. Still, we have the northerly winds combined with the cloud cover. It's a mild night, and then there's the change coming through tomorrow. So that all equals a very small temperature swing. Some prefrontal drizzle again with it overnight, and there's the rain band pushing through during tomorrow. Expect no sunshine. It's going to be too overcast with the passing of that system. I'd say we'll see a very small temperature swing, if anything at all, because very mild overnight and struggling to get up there tomorrow. tomorrow, I'd say we'd be lucky to get out of the teens for most of the day. So the overnight temperature is going to be very similar to tomorrow's maxima, I would say. Strong wind warnings issued. You've got that big change, northerly wind switching around to the southwest with that low forming as we move into Saturday night, Sunday morning. Sun to rise 6:30, down just before 5 p.m. So high tide there 3 a.m, hitting the low at 10 to 10 tomorrow morning. The waves 2 metres out of the northeast, and all of that's going to be changing as well. So showers being sprayed still across parts of the region there. Sunday reaching the Tweed, then next week all fine, just cool, clear, wintry conditions. Cool mornings are on the way, fairly cool days, but it is going to dry out from Monday onwards. So the worst of the weather pushing through during tomorrow and into Sunday morning before that system begins to clear, and then fines up as we progress into the afternoon, making way for a fine start to next week, particularly by the time we reach Monday. So across the coast, we've still seen some swell there roll on through, and still a little bit more again throughout tomorrow. It's been small though, and lacklustre the further north that we've been, just a couple of okay sized sets. But as we saw, we've got changeable winds on the way throughout tomorrow, so variable winds. Try and work that switch to the best of your ability, but yeah, don't expect much in the way of sunshine, but try to make the most of what we've been served. Not going to be a great beach weekend by any means for most of the coast. So winter just wants to throw open the door and barge on in this year.
Yep, it's arrived. Thank you, Gav. That is NBN News for this Friday. A current affair is up next, followed by the Knights Bulldogs clash.
So thanks from all of the team. Have yourself a fabulous weekend.
Good night.
Good night.